After the service, we are having a reception for to recognize Gail's work here, as well as her retirement. I would like to say thank you to Congregational Fellowship and everybody who's working with them to make that happen today. This is a different ritual of friendship, and with your permission, without your permission, we'd like to extend it a little bit today, again, just to take note of Gail and all that she's done. Gail came to our church 2 odd years ago, and she came as this wonderful, sophisticated, stylish, professional presence. And I think that we were all thankful to see her come through our doors. Her first day at work, she took me aside and asked me to close her office door, and she said, "Listen, punk. This is how it's going to go down. I'll say jump, you say how high." So I will get your dry cleaning to you later. Gail, I'm sorry I'm late. But today she said jump. And the way she said jump is she said, "Tom, don't make this maudlin and don't be inappropriately jokey." So I have nothing to say. Well, I could say thank you. I want to say thank you for caring for this church all the years. I mean, before you went into ministry, as you were preparing for ministry, and now as you've returned and you've come full circle. And not caring just for the church as an institution, but for the people. Gail, you've been a wonderful example of compassion for people. I would like to say thanks on behalf of the staff and the volunteers. You've been a remarkable leader and a fun one to work for. I would like to say thanks on behalf of the congregation members, but we are also going to invite them to speak after the service downstairs. So Elaine Kirk will start us off downstairs with a 15-minute homage. And no, she says. But she will be starting us off, and then please get up and share any memories you would like of Gail, and word them in the present tense. I would like to personally thank you, without being maudlin or inappropriately jokey, for being, as I explained to you yesterday, the best boss that I've had, and that goes back to my days delivering papers. I've had wonderful bosses all through my life. I can say good things about all of them, but I sat and considered this, and this was a person I looked forward to seeing every day. She was a person I spent more time on the phone with, or in person with, or texting with, second only to my spouse. So thank you for being not just a good spouse. I'm sorry. Thank you. Now that's inappropriate. Thank you not only for being a great boss, a wonderful coach, a great friend, but also someone that, like I say, is just a joy to be around, that has really shaped my life over the past 2 years. You are surrounded today by friends, including folks from your previous congregations. But because today we don't just say goodbye and thank you for your interim time we also celebrate your retirement, and celebrate is the right word for it, because you have so many things that you are looking forward to and so much to give. I've asked people who've known you during the entirety of your ministry to share some words, and we'll start first with Nancy Smolik.
So how do you expect me to follow that?
Just be appropriate. It's not that hard for some people.
Have I ever not? Well, when Tom asked me to speak today, I thought, well, how do you pare down 30 years into 2 minutes? And of course, there's just no way I could do that. So I thought, well, I'll look at our church's job description that we set out before we hired Gail, and that'll be helpful. But I'm sorry, but I can't get into our website and find those things very easily. So I had to resort to the Presbyterians. And the job description seemed to fit pretty well. So I thought I'd just review, but the interim minister, according to the Presbyterians, is responsible for moderating the session and for providing pastoral leadership and administrative oversight of the church's ministries, including worship, music, preaching, teaching, mission service, stewardship, and fellowship. He or she will work with the session and the church staff to provide opportunities for members to engage in worship, discipleship, and mission. He or she will use their developed interim minister skills to assess the congregation's current and long-term needs and provide inspiring counsel and leadership to help the church identify what it's called to be in the future. The interim minister will support the congregation so that it can continue to identify its mission and purpose as the body of Christ during the time between installed ministers. He or she will help prepare the congregation for new pastoral leadership. So Gail, on our congregation's journey over the last 2 years, you've been and done all of that, and you've done it really superbly. Our congregation has witnessed God's call to many of our members over the years, and we have supported, encouraged, and launched many to ministry. We don't often get to see the results of that call. It's a wonderful privilege to see the result in you, Gail, and to experience it firsthand. God's blessed us through you. What a gift you've been to us. But remember, Romans 11:29 tells us that the gifts and the call of God are irrevocable. So don't look at this as retirement, but maybe sabbatical.
One voice I did not want to be missing from your life, even though you're going to hurt me after the service, is your family. And so I'd like to invite Hannah and Derek up to say a few words. Huh? And Addie. And Lenny. Addie's not here. Annie's sick. And she said specifically, no family. And I violated that.
Good morning. We're down a couple members of my family only because of the stomach flu. Otherwise, we would all, of course, be here on this special day for my mom. When Tom invited me to speak today, I admit I was very excited. I may not love public speaking, but I would never pass up the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to share a little about my mom on her retirement day. At least I hope it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I admit that I have been skeptical about her actually being able to retire, but she assures me this is it. And I think I am skeptical because for fully 2/3 of my life, she has been in the ministry. And for me and for our family, this has very much defined her. Her work has been a passion, a true calling, and a priority. And I know I can speak on behalf of my brother Richard as well when I say that we have both always been so proud of her and so awed at all that she has done for the church in her 20 years in interim ministry. And we would both like to especially thank her for being such an awesome and supportive mom throughout it all, as well as an amazing example of how to walk in the life role you were meant for and follow the path that God has set out. And in the last 5 years, my mom has gracefully eased into another new role, that of Grandma Gail. And our little girls know, of course, that Grandma Gail is a minister. Matt and I were honored that she was able to baptize each of them. But to them, she's really just Grandma Gail. And I shouldn't really say just Grandma Gail. Lenny here more than anyone can tell you how important it is to have a Grandma Gail. Just a few examples. If you fall down the stairs and you need to go to urgent care, you call Grandma Gail. And if you need to find the perfect pair of 4-year-old underwear and everyone else has failed you, you send Grandma Gail to the Mall of America. And if you are pretending to be an American girl from 1934 and you need the perfect black velvet hat from that time period, amazingly, Grandma Gail has you covered. So Matt and I and the girls really wanted to thank her also for all that she has done for our family, for all the times that she has been there for us, even when she was incredibly busy with her work. And I admit, I've even asked her to drive all the way across town in rush hour traffic during Holy Week because we had run to urgent care and she was right there. And so we are looking forward to keeping her busy in her retirement years, hopefully with more lunch dates and gymnastics classes than trips to urgent care. However, I know we know that some part of her will always miss being here with all of you in front of church on Sunday morning. So thank you so much for letting me speak. I'm going to turn it over to my dad.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a few words here. I've had a special privilege of being in the vantage point of the interim pastor's wife all these years. And I've seen firsthand just all of the energy and devotion that Gail has put into her career. So I want to add my congratulations to her on her retirement from this very successful career in ministry. Now, I need to make just a couple of points, and I want to illustrate them with a story that some of you have heard me tell before. It actually was from Garrison Keillor, but the guy who's lying in bed one Sunday morning and his mother comes in and says, "Are you going to church this morning?" He says, "No, I am not, and for 2 very good reasons. Number 1, I don't like the people at church, and number 2, they don't like me." And his mother said, "Well, I can tell you, you are going to church this morning because number 1, for 2 very good reasons. Number 1, you're 59 years of age, and number 2, you're the pastor." Now, 2 points to make. 1, that story would never apply to Pastor Gail. I can tell you that the one thing I constantly experience is people from congregations that Gail has served stopping me and telling me just how much they love her, how much they enjoyed her time there, and how special her ministry was to them. I can also tell you that Gail has enjoyed the various congregations that she has served and the colleagues she has met and served with. And of course, Pastor Gail has been my pastor for a lot of these 20 years. And since I have heard the vast majority of her sermons in the pew, just like you, and her preaching the word, it has very often affected me just the same way as it has you. Now, the story that I told there would apply to Mother Gail. Gail could be the mother in that story, Mother Gail and Wife Gail, because during these past 20 years, Gail has been successful and much loved as a wife, a mother, and a grandmother and friend. And like the mother in the story, we know her, as all of you probably have experienced, in her well-organized, on-time, by-the-book, no-nonsense, no whining, just-do-it mode of operation. So Gail, sweetie, schnookums, from my viewpoint, you've worked hard, and the term job well done certainly applies. So congratulations. But now is the time for us to go home, enjoy more sunsets together, and wherever we roam together, I'm looking forward to it. finally, just a few words personally to everyone at Mac Plymouth. Thank you for letting me be your interim pastor's wife. I've really enjoyed worshiping here with you. I'm definitely aligned and have been aligned by the values and mission of this congregation, and all the friendships that we have here are extra special because, of course, the Gail and Derek Robb that's joined this church back in 1980, we were in the prime of our adult life at that point, the core of it, and we spent a lot of it here. And so we will always care about this church wherever we go. So thank you.